So at the beginning of each service, before we call to worship, we have been the last few weeks learning the Hebrew of what it is we're reciting, what we're reading, what we're calling out to each other as we worship the Lord. And so that is the opening prayer, the Barchu. And so let's review a little bit of where we've been. And in case you've missed it, by the way, there are these little handouts that you should have gotten on the way in. If you missed it, you can get it on your way out. We have some reprints of previous weeks as well. But at this point, we are we've covered these words already. Can you read these? Barchu et Adonai. This is actually what the leader will call us to worship in, because the first word, Barchu, is the plural imperative. In other words, hey you, hey y'all, listen up. Bless. That's the word Barchu, based on the word barach, to bless. Et is that little word that doesn't exactly have a definition, but it leads us to the direct object of the verb, which is Adonai, the Lord. Bless the Lord. That's our opening. By the way, just as a reminder, when we read in Hebrew, we read from right to left. But in English, including our transliteration here, we're reading from left to right. Remember that? In English, you read from left to right? Okay. But in Hebrew, right to left. Now, the next word in the call to worship, Barchu et Adonai, Hamavorach. Hamavorach. That is translated, who is to be blessed, or the one who is to be blessed. Is there a word in there that you think we've already covered? The fact is, there's a root word within this, which is barach, which means to bless. Now, in this case, we got the Hebrew going a little bit right and left at the same time, because this word barach, which means to bless, the Hebrew root is the b-r-ch, okay? And you arrange that in different ways to say, hey, you bless, or may he be blessed, the one who is to be blessed. But barach, now we add to it a couple of prefixes, the ha and the m. The ha and the mem. Okay, we'll explain all this in just a moment. In fact, the ha, which is at the beginning of Hamavarach, is a hey. That's the H sound, huh. And at the beginning of a word, it sounds like H, huh. At the end of a word, it sounds like silent, like ah, A-H. But in this case, it's ha, it has the ah vowel under it, and it means the. Whenever you see this in front of a normal word, you'll see that it actually means the, and it's attached to the Hebrew word. And so, in case you might see HaMashiach, that means the Messiah. Hayom, the day. In this case, Ha is at the beginning of Hamavarach. The next letter, which is prefixed in front of Barach, is Mem, which, when you arrange a mem in front of a verb, it sort of makes it into an adjective, in some cases even a noun, depending on where it is in the sentence. So to say Mevarach means to say one who is blessed, or who is blessed. Okay? Does that kind of make sense? So we have the ha and the m attached to the barach. And barach, let's be reminded, consists of these letters. Barach. The bet, which is the first letter on your right, that's b. With a dot, that is b. But without the dot, as we have it here, it's v. So it's a soft version of the consonant, v as in victory. The middle letter is resh, which has a r sound, the r sound, and the final letter is kaf, which usually looks like a backwards C, but at the end of the word it gets a long tail, and it's called a final kaf, and it has the ch sound, as in bach. So there you see barach. Now, where do we go from there? We flip our page over, and we put it all together. Hamavarach. Just to remind you of the vowel sounds within that. Vowel, in the Hebrew, really there's no vowels, there's only consonants. So either you know the word or you have to learn the word. And so we put these little dots and lines up and around the letters to remind us of what the sounds of the vowels are. Let's go back one. The patach, let's go to Hamavarach. The lines under those words, the one line is a ah, and one line has a little t looking to it. Those are both ah sounds, the patach and the kamatz. The shava is a little double dot, and you can see it under the m, under the mem. It's a silent m. It's just almost apostrophe. M. At the end of a word, like it is at the kaf, it's tucked in there, and it just means don't make any extra vowel sounds. Just be quiet at that point. Okay, hamavorach. All right, and there's one more vowel in there. You see that little dot floating on top of the bet? That's where our next letter comes in. It's essentially what we have when you take a vav and you put a dot on top. Earlier we took in the word baruch, we had a oo sound. We took a vav and put the dot in the middle. What happens when you make your hand like a fist and stick it in the middle? You go ooh, right? But when you take your hand and put it on your head, you go oh. So that's the o sound. Sometimes we take away the vav and just leave the dot floating above the consonant. So when you see that, you remember that's still the O, called a cholam. All right, so once again, we put it all together. We put it above the bet, or the vet in this case, and you get vo. Can you read that and say vo? Very good. Now, we put it all together. Let's read this. Let me have you read this. Can you read that? Ha-mavorach. Very good. Let's try it one more time. Ha-mavorach. And altogether, that means he who is blessed. So we put it all together with what we've learned so far. We have this sentence, Barchu et Adonai ha-mavorach. Bless the Lord who is to be blessed. Can you say those words? Barchu et Adonai ha-mavorach. Now, you actually aren't the one who says those words. That's going to be our worship leader as he calls you to worship, and we respond with the rest of the Barchu.